Questions for Coach? Over here in the middle.
Plain dealer. Wondering if you could talk about your view of the shot Deli banked in.
You know, kid makes plays. That was a nice highlight.
Third throw from.
Did he call glass? If he didn't, he should have.
Can you get the guy in the middle? Stripes. Brian in the middle. Just raise your hand, please.
Brian Mahoney, Associated Press.
Brian.
They talked after the game a lot, predictably, about using David Lee more going forward. Is that something you come into series prepared for, or how much does that sort of change your preparation when a team maybe switches their rotation midway through?
Well, you know, we knew that was a possibility, obviously, and you try to prepare for every advent, every possibility. Them saying it and him playing obviously gives us a heads up. But you know, there's a lot of options on that team, and they're a deep team, and they can they can give you different looks, and they do. And they can do different things, which they feel they have to do, and that's all part of this process. That's the dynamic of a series.
Baxter, front left.
Baxter Holmes, ESPN, right here. Steve Kerr was asked before the game about LeBron, the athlete, and where he kind of ranks in the world in that category, and he half-jokingly said, well, you know, I don't know if there's anyone better, maybe American Pharaoh. Where in this, that discussion, where do you rank him in terms of, you know, all sports, everything, just LeBron, the athlete? In the world, obviously.
The athlete, yeah, or the
athlete?
Athlete player.
Just and amongst all athletes in the world, where would you put him?
Where would I rank him? I don't know. I put it this way. I put my money on him in the decathlon. Does that help? Yeah.
Jeff.
David, Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. David, just a quick update health-wise on Matthew Dellavedova, where he is after last night, and Iman Shumpert's shoulder.
Yeah. Good news on Shump's shoulder. He had an MRI. He was examined and evaluated by our medical staff. He has a bruised shoulder, and it's painful. But fortunately, no serious damage. That's really, really good news. Deli obviously suffering from some fatigue, and I don't know whether to call it dehydration or something else, but the tank is low, and we're doing everything we can to fill it back up. That's the best way I could describe it for you.
Jeff, over here.
To follow up on those, Coach, do you expect both of them to play tomorrow?
I do, yes.
Three, Spears, please raise your hand. Mark, over here, up in the front.
Have you talked to Deli, and do you maybe even limit his minutes, or how concerned are you when you put him in tomorrow and what he could potentially do?
Well, I told him I was going to limit his minutes, and he said, "No, you're not." You know, look, we gotta be realistic and keep our eyes on him and see how he recovers. You know, he emptied the tank last night, and you know, hopefully in the ensuing 48 hours he's going to be able to catch up and to get back up to par, so to speak, in terms of his body. But he'll be out there, and we'll just monitor how he's doing. I'm not going to come in there with a specific minute restriction, but we'll definitely be conscious of it.
And have you had a chance to visit with Kyrie? And
I did. I just saw Kyrie now. He was in our session in the locker room, and it was great to see him. He's on crutches with a cast, but he's in good spirits. And we're just all hoping and wishing him a very, very speedy recovery and a 100% recovery, which I'm sure will be the case.
Noah, right here.
Noah Kozlov, Cinesport.
Noah.
LeBron has consistently talked about that he's doing everything that his teammates ask him to do, that his teammates are asking him to do a lot. What are you specifically asking LeBron to do?
Everything that he's doing.
Tom in the back right.
Tom Haberstroh, ESPN. Coach, usually with teams, it's an either-or proposition, whether you crash the offensive boards or you get back in transition. It seems like you guys are doing both. How are you able to do that against the Warriors?
Well, I mean, there's different tactics for that, and the point is a good one,
Just watch the camera.
And we're doing a good job in that. I'm not going to tell you exactly what, but I will tell you that it's hard to do both at a high level of efficiency, and we're doing a pretty good job of that.
As a follow-up, are you consciously trying to eat up the clock? It seems like those isolations with LeBron might not be getting the greatest results, but it actually slows the game down and gets those offensive rebound opportunities.
We're trying to play in a way that allows us to be successful in this series. And whatever that means or however that looks or however it's interpreted is fine with me. We know what we want to do. We know how we want to play and how we need to play. The important thing is to execute it and to work at it on both ends of the court. And I think we're doing a decent job of that.
Mark here in the front.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. David, Kyrie and Dellavedova go back a couple of years going to war against each other in practices. At first, apparently, Kyrie was a little bit not so happy about Dellavedova and his tactics and his defense. Can you talk about the way that you've seen those two evolve in their relationship and how Kyrie perhaps has made Dellavedova the player he is in this series?
Well, when you have one guy that's the hands-down star of the team, and then you have another guy trying to make the team, competing for his position, then you can probably expect some friction in practice. And maybe some of that existed before. I wasn't here, so I can't honestly tell you. I've seen nothing but good relations between the two of them since the day I walked in the door. But I could certainly understand where that may have come from, and I think that Delly, rightfully so, has earned Kyrie's respect, and I think that Kyrie has also lifted him up by encouraging him, by giving him confidence, by talking with him, by believing in him. We played the two of them together a good bit this year, Mark, also, in some winning situations, because of the particular skill sets that both of them possess. You have just a great relationship there between the two of them. And you want that between your starting point guard and your backup point guard. And obviously right now the tables have turned and Kai is out, so he's just supporting Delly. But I think they've helped each other grow a great deal, and that's one of the great things about a dynamic of a team.
Last two in the back and over here, Chris.
Coach here in the middle, Aaron Goldhammer, ESPN Cleveland. What was the moment, if there was one, when you realized that the Cavs maybe had something special in Matthew Dellavedova?
When I first came and we were practicing in preparation for the Las Vegas Summer League. I've been around the block a few times, and you recognize character when you see it, and you recognize guys that are team-oriented and have, their values and their ideals for how to play the game in the right place. You don't see it as much as you'd like, but when you do, it's easily recognizable. So, if you're asking me when I knew then. Pretty quick.
Chris, last one in the back.
Hey, David, Chris Sheridan, Sheridan Hoops.
Chris?
You've been around the block a few times, as you said. This question a little bit out of left field, but I'm curious as to your answer. You've dealt with the media. You got second guessed like crazy last year in Maccabi. You got second guessed a lot this year in Cleveland. How is the American media different from, say, the Israeli media or the Russian media that you've dealt with in recent years?
I didn't set him up for that question. I just want you to know that. And I really want to answer it, but I'm not gonna. I'm thankful for the media everywhere because all of us are living from it. And it's great that so many people care about the game, and it's great that so many people are interested in it. It's great that so many people critique it. Everybody's got their own style, and everybody's got their own motivation. A lot of people also have their own agendas, and that's all fine. It's all part of this great ride that we're on. And I'm glad that I can be a part of that too.